Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm just going to do a very short lightning talk because there's just one nice thing I figured out the past few weeks that I want to share, and apparently a lot of people that I talked to didn't know about this as well. So as you can see, my talk is going to be about widget tests. And to start off, let me quickly recap what type of tests that the Flutter framework offers. So we have our basic unit tests. They're just the same as in any other framework. They just run extremely fast. They're very, very easy to maintain, very easy to write, but they do not cover that much. They have a limited scope. Luckily, the Flutter framework provides us with widget tests, which still run quite as fast as unit tests, but they allow you to test UI and integrations and interactions rather, just like a normal user would interact with the app. And they still don't require a device to run on. They don't cover the whole picture, and they're a bit more complex to set up than a normal unit test, but they're a lot easier than integration tests, which is the third type of test that the framework provides. So good things about integration tests is that they provide a high confidence. They really run your app completely in end-to-end flow, and they really show how the UI will look on the device as well. But they're a lot slower, they're a lot more complex to set up, and they might be brittle and cost some more maintenance. So now that we quickly recapped the three types of tests that you can have in Flutter, I want to ask every one of you, raise your hands if you use any type of automated testing in your apps. I should see everyone's hand, even if you don't, just do it. Okay, keep your hands raised if you're using widget tests. Okay, a lot of hands still up. Keep your hands raised if you use integration tests. And I see a few hands going down. And maybe I see some people nodding their heads, so maybe for some projects, for others, not. And one of the reasons might be that it comes with some extra complexity, especially for figuring out where and when you want to run these. If you want to connect it to your CI/CD flow, it might be a little harder. And that's where like the true value of widget tests actually come in. You get a lot covered by widget tests without having to set up the infrastructure to run integration tests. But one of the hard things about integration tests could be to figure out, let me just see, when something goes wrong, because it still acts and runs just like a normal unit test. So for this, I want to show a quick example. Let's run a very simple app on our emulator. There we go. We all love counter apps, right? So we're Flutter developers, of course we do. So yeah, we just have a counter with a simple button to test this. So let's have a look at our widget test for this. This is a simple widget test that will actually take in my whole app. It will check if everything's there. It will tap the increment button, and then it should have changed, and it should have found an extra increment on the value. But if we try to run this, turns out something went wrong. And if we go into this, it said that things were not found exactly. So something seems to be wrong. But I can see here, like this works fine, right? Does anybody have an idea why this is? Does anybody know what went wrong? Well, it's sometimes hard to figure out, but luckily there's an easy trick that I want to share with you, because the cool thing with widget tests is that you can actually simply run them as well on your device without having to move to integration tests for this. So what this will do is it will use our Flutter app to also visualize our widget tests. And you see we get like a weird frame. This is because a normal widget test by default, the view that you get is 800 by 600 pixels. So this is actually the issue that we have here. So if we were to change this, and we add in a change to change the surface size. I don't know if this is clear for everyone. Maybe you can put it a little bit bigger. And let's just hot reload this, or at least from here. It's going to hot reload, and suddenly our view changes to a different proportion. And it just goes through our test as well. Now everything works. So the reason I wanted to show this is that we can, even though widget tests generally run without rendering on a specific device, you could still just use Flutter run and run that widget test just to have a visual ID what's going wrong. So this was just a simple way to show this if you would ever encounter that. So let's see. So you can just use Flutter run and target your test file just like you would target your main.dart file. And by doing that, we can go from not understanding why our widget test is failing to really understanding and being as surprised by how awesome it is. All right, thank you.